Are you living the Delaware beach lifestyle? You can't live at the beach and do nothing. This up-and-coming year-round area has lots to offer. Find out where to eat, play, and serve. Living the ultimate dream.
Hey guys, in this video, you are going to meet Tessa Arnold. Tessa is so amazing. She has decided to get involved with helping the world, essentially, especially this area, recover and continue a normal life, even after having a couple drinks with a product called Snapback. It's about to launch. She's very excited. We are very excited. It's going to help the community, especially with all these breweries and wine places around here. It's definitely going to help people have a safe and fun summertime while being able to have a normal day the next day and recover immediately. So this product is called Snapback, but she is a VP of Citibank and has lived a successful, busy life with a family all over the country, especially in these bigger cities in the corporate world, and is now going to share with you guys how the heck do you manage that type of working world with coming to the beach, having a family, still continuing to do different things, and launch a new startup. I'm excited. You're excited. Let's meet Tessa. Here we go on how to enjoy your life while having a few drinks here and there. Stay tuned. All right. Welcome to the 302 Lifestyle Beach Podcast. We have Tessa Arnold in the house, and I'm just really excited about this because as you guys know, we get to meet so many different people from different backgrounds and different passions. And I love just meeting people that have completely like a wide variety of different, paths that they end up taking, and seeing this along the journey and how, the 302 area benefits from all these different people coming here. So Tessa, you have quite the resume here. We got VP of Citibank, the Chief Technology Officer of a startup, which we'll dive into. You just love outdoors, swimming in the ocean, books, dance, spend time with family. I mean, all around great gal. It sounds like we're on a dating website right now. You like long walks on the beach. No, I'm just kidding. So, but this is great. Tessa, before I keep rambling on, tell us a little bit about how you ended up in the area and your progression into a VP status and your new passion you have.
Sure, definitely. So I'm a Dagsboro girl. So I grew up in Dagsboro, Delaware.
I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it, and it's changed so much.
Yeah.
So originally from, the area code and living here and growing up, went to school in Berlin, and then so forth and so on, ended up leaving when I was around 18 and moved to Northern Virginia. And from there went on to VCU in Richmond, which then took me to Chicago, where I was for some time. Yeah, it was exciting. I love the city. So sort of by way of city girl, was there for a while, got into banking. I was with a large banking financial institution for about 10 years. And then I was in Colorado and managing the West Coast as a vice president within the commercial bank. So I was all over that. I've kind of been coast to coast, all over the place, and really within the banking division. I decided I have two small kids, and I decided it was time for a change. I was going at a very fast pace, and I wanted to pull the plug a little bit and reevaluate priorities and spend more time with them. And then I was going through a divorce, and I figured what better thing to do than come home. Time to come. It's like a novel. It's like a Nicholas Sparks novel. Yeah. We haven't finished it yet. We'll get there. So then I pulled the plug, and I packed up, and I brought the kids home, and I fell right in lockstep with that same community that I grew up with. So it's funny, girlfriends that and guy friends that I've known since I was 5 or 6 years old, they all have kids now around my kids' age. And it's funny, it definitely takes a community, to help out. And I'm so happy to be back. It's a completely different lifestyle in so many ways. And there's not, anywhere better to have kids and raise a family and sort of be, you slow down and you really appreciate life. Now, during that time, I decided I didn't have enough on my plate, so why not engage in a startup?
Yeah.
Ironically with my ex-husband, who I've got a great partnership and we're a good team, and with his family. So yeah, that's kind of where that's taken me to date. And I've been back for about 2 years. And the startup, which we can definitely talk more about, that's getting ready to launch in probably the next 6 weeks. We actually just issued our first PO and we're filling packets as we speak.
Wow.
So yeah, we'll have the website launched and product out to the market in the next six to 8 weeks. So.
Wow, that's a big deal and very exciting. So you're still working with Citibank too?
I am, yes.
Okay.
So now I work as a vice president with Citibank, which is great. Great company to work for and great brand. And I've been with them for about 8 months. And I work 100% remotely because I think that's just, the time that we're in. Everybody's remote now, but It does give me the flexibility to be able to, have that work and life balance, which is so important.
Yeah, so this is so awesome. So as you know, we are like right in the hub of, you got Virginia, Baltimore, DC, Philadelphia, New York City, like all these great big cities. And it seems like, this happens to be one of the fastest growing beach towns in the northern East Coast right now. And I think it's because it's just such a beautiful area. And it's really undeveloped up until these past like 20 so years. And so here we are. We have all these great people coming here. And yeah, Dagsboro has definitely been, changing. We came out here 10 years ago and it's changed a lot since then, but it's becoming more of a year-round area.
Oh, absolutely.
And so traffic used to be a ghost town in the winter. And now you have still traffic and stuff in the winter, which is fine. Hopefully I think I'm having someone on the show to talk about the road situation, but
yeah, good.
Yeah. So anyways, okay. So now you're in Berlin, which anybody listening that's from the 302, Berlin is like our little cousin of the area. What do they call it? The biggest small town?
The coolest.
The coolest, yeah.
Yes, come check it out. It definitely is.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so a lot to unpack here.
Mm-hmm.
I think this area is so attractive, Tessa, because it's such a peaceful area. We're known for lower, slower Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
So how anyone watching this right now that's interested in moving here or has moved here and they're kind of figuring it out, going from the fast-paced life to the slow-paced life, tell us a little bit about how that's affected you, your family. How do you like it?
Sure. There's so many impacts, just in regards to personal and professional. So when I came back, I completely unplugged and I had the ability to take some time off of work, which is it was dramatic for me. I was on a plane every week dealing with clients and in meetings. My territory was Utah, Arizona, and Colorado and California. So I was all over the place, pretty fast paced, and coming and just completely slowing down. It was a huge shift for me. And it's, surprisingly, I had to get comfortable with it. And I did. I fell right into it. I picked up some hobbies and started to garden. Unfortunately, because I do not have a green thumb, but I definitely try. And those sort of things. I'm also not crafty, but I picked up different things. But I submerged, within my kids' lives, which was the most important thing to me. I was present. I wasn't just there, but I was present. I wasn't distracted. Primarily for me, that was with work. I showed up for them. And it changed the dynamic quite a bit, which was in such a positive way. Health-wise, I started training and working out, and I was outside more, and it was just, it was fantastic because it's a slower pace, and the community operates at a slower pace, and there might not be as many outlets or stimulants in the area, so it forces you to literally slow down. And it's fantastic because you didn't realize how much you were missing and maybe not observing from a day-to-day perspective. I don't know. I can't push it enough. Life's so short, and if you don't stop and smell the roses, you're gonna miss it. And it's been great. It's also helped me shift priorities where now I have the time to put my energies into different things like the startup. So I love it. And the kids, I mean, they go from lacrosse to horseback riding to surf lessons in the summer to skateboarding lessons, to seeing the ponies at Assateague because we live about 10 minutes away. So you couldn't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, and it's funny. So we came from Las Vegas, which, just known for the huge hospitality field and the fun and the nightlife and all those different things. And, traffic in the morning, I would wait like an hour and a half in traffic just to get to work, and then an hour back, and then here, in the summertime, so I started timing this because I was so interested in so I'm waiting, 8 minutes at a light, and all of a sudden I'm freaking out, like, oh my gosh, it's taking so long. The traffic is so long.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah. And so I never thought that I would say this, but when we went back to visit Vegas, oh my gosh, like a day into it, I'm like, I'm done. I'm like ready to go back to the beach.
Quiet.
Yeah. And you don't realize, the first year was a little rough, like kind of getting used to it. Mm-hmm. But once you're there and once you're present in your own life, and it allows, like you said, it just allows you to kind of take the attention off of all these outside stimulants and focus on yourself, your family. Awesome. Okay. So anybody listening, there's just so much to do here. So hopefully this show allows you access to some of the cool things to do. You mentioned Assateague. So we got the natural horses and stuff, which, by the way, Assateague horses are bullies.
Oh, there's been times we've been laying on the beach and all of a sudden the horses come walking and you jump up, and I've literally been in between, and they're sweet and they're beautiful. You have to stand back. Please, to anybody listening, do not try and pet the ponies. Okay, you will get a swift kick or a bite. Don't do it. I'm warning you now.
Yeah, so several years ago, I ended up meeting with a big group of people, and we would go down and have a big bonfire, and all of our food and stuff would be in our coolers and all this stuff. Well, these horses would come up, and you're kind of freaked out for a minute. You think, oh, they're so nice. But then they started like acting like mean, and they like kick you out of your little circle, and they would just open your stuff and start stealing food out.
They're very resourceful, and they know the drill. So hide it at all costs.
Yeah. They're like, okay, you're in my spot.
Right, exactly. There's something else, but they're great to see in the bald eagles. There's so many opportunities along the shore to, go kayaking, go paddleboarding. There's so many great companies that have those outfits. And again, it's all part of that lifestyle. Slow down and look around. And I feel like that should be our motto. Slow down, look around, and take it in.
Ooh, I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna try to get that started.
Right. And get the t-shirts. My best friend prints t-shirts. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So I love that better than Lower Slower Delaware, because I think a lot of business owners look at Lower Slower Delaware like, I don't need to show up. I don't need to answer my phone.
We have so many dynamic people here from all different places who have maybe grown up here and gone all over the world and come back.
Yeah. Because
this is home, and there's a reason for that. And then you have people who have come, as you said, from all the cities that are right around. People, think we might be here, but you have so many outlets. I take the kids up all the time to the museums in DC when it's not, of course, COVID impacted. But once the pandemic is over, we go up to Philadelphia. We saw the Nutcracker a few years back. We have the symphony. We have so many. There's so much culture. Yep. It's a melting pot. It used to be like that DC area was the melting pot where you had all different diverse groups of people, but that's really becoming this area as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, love it. So, okay, so you did bring up your startup.
Yeah.
I would love to know more about the corporate stuff and all that, but that just sounds so stressful just thinking about it. So let's get into some really cool stuff. So tell us about the startup, and more importantly, how did you even come across this? What brought you into this startup? And first of all, tell us what the startup is.
Sure.
How did you get into this?
Sure. So it's Snapback Energy. So it is a powder product that has quite a few key ingredients that really help metabolize alcohol in your system. So you think automatically, okay, what does that mean? How does that relate to me? And typically, I'll throw out the word hangover, but not necessarily. It's more about balancing your lifestyle And I know personally, sometimes I will have a glass of wine with dinner, maybe two, or I catch a happy hour with a friend or group of friends during the week. And I have to show up the next morning. And that looks like getting up early, getting myself going, getting the kids off to school, potentially fitting in a workout, and then getting on a 9 o'clock call. I don't have time to be sluggish. And I don't want to. And I think that sluggish, kind of foggy effect that sometimes you can get from moderate to light drinking, that's really where Snapback Energy fits in. And what it does, it helps metabolize and provide you with extra resources to metabolize the alcohol in your system. So then it's gone by the next day and get rid of some of that fog and yuck feeling. So you can just rock it the next day too.
Ooh, love it. So I watch a lot of Russell Brunson. If anyone knows who he is, he's like a big guru in the online world. But he mentioned something one time, like sometimes if you're hearing a lot of bigger words, he likes to call it it's kind of like. So you have the metabolites, alcohol in your blood, but it's kind of like having a hangover and not having a hangover.
And getting rid of it. So getting rid of
cool.
it. As you age, which we all do with grace, I know, and it's just a number, but as we do, things start to slow down. So our metabolism, the way that we process alcohol, and our ability to really kind of cleanse your system. So that's where Snapback Energy kind of comes into play. It's a powder form. You mix it with 68 ounces of water before you start drinking, and then you have it again before you go to bed. So it's just like that extra supplement that you take. You just mix it with water. You should be drinking water anyway and staying hydrated. And then hopefully you're getting at least that like 6 to 8 hours of sleep that's recommended. I love my sleep. It's a hobby that I never make enough time for, but it's goals. Those are my goals.
Now, does it affect the actual, that little buzz feeling or anything like that? Because you said it metabolites alcohol. Does it affect any of that?
Not at all. That's such a great question. And surprisingly, I think you're the first person who's ever asked me that. No. It doesn't. And I've taken it. So friends of mine have taken it as we kind of work through the formula. They've been my guinea pigs. And not at all. It doesn't make you feel like you're not getting whatever effects you might look to get. Maybe it's a more relaxed feeling from alcohol, from having a drink or two and unwinding. Not at all. So you don't notice any of that. You don't notice any effects of it until you wake up the next morning and you don't have the effects of alcohol. That's what you're going to notice.
Perfect. Okay. Now, so before we dive any deeper, I just want to kind of give you guys some options to get a hold of Tessa. So we have the email addresses and phone numbers and stuff down below you guys can click on. It looks like you're just about to launch this thing. So look for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these places will be there too. Do you guys have a site right now that we can check out? Or?
Not yet.
Okay, so almost there.
Almost there, right? So we're expecting in anywhere from the next 4 to 5 weeks, because obviously we want to have that up and running. You'll be able to order the product directly from our website. You are going to see a huge push, of course, as you said, in the social media outlets. I'm going to have it on my Instagram pages, and they'll all be public for everybody to see. So it's exciting.
Very cool. And this is, I almost was like, oh, they're so different, like the corporate VP with, Snapback. But in reality, actually, they're kind of tied together because people that show up, as a leader or someone where people are really relying on you, it's like a hangover thing, but honestly, everyone has a life. You go out, you have drinks, if you have a million kids, you definitely are drinking.
Right. Bless you if you do.
Yes. But the next morning, that's the most important time. Like, I need to be up, I need to be active, I need to continuing my life.
Right.
So you are offering a solution to that where you feel sluggish and headaches and all this stuff. Snapback takes that away. Is that what I'm getting?
It's about moderation and balance. You have your work, you have your dynamic of work, you have your home life, whether that looks like a significant other or your dogs or your pets or your kids, whatever that might look and feel like. You have all of that, but then you have your self-care and your time. And again, sometimes that looks like going out and having a happy hour or a glass of wine. And we all know how that can sometimes deter you the next morning, and that's where we fit in.
Great. Now, so the next piece of this is how in the world did you get into this?
I so surprised. My ex-husband, this was his brainchild with a group of others. And that's another reason where it fits in. So I'm a project manager. I have my PMP certification, which is project management professionals through the Project Management Institution organization. And he asked me to come on board to help build structure around it and provide insight and to just kind of be part of the brain and brainstorming sessions through development. So that's my personality. I'm that type A. I will get everybody where they need to be at the end of the day. And that's when we work well together. So that's where I came into it. And he is from the food and beverage industry world. He was part of his family's own company for years and years that sold, and they did caramel coloring. And so he was part of the food and technologies conventions and that world and realm. And these things kind of just have a way of organically coming up, through different synergies and working with others. So, yeah.
Ooh, that does sound awesome. And it's really cool that you guys are able to still continue understanding, hey, we're all human, people change, things happen, but I have these really awesome qualities that you may not have, which is just like my wife and I. And so very awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so what a perfect time to be launching this too, because we have summertime coming. So I'm assuming you guys are going to be getting this in all the places downtown at the beach. All right, so if you see Snapback, all right.
Yeah, you'll see it all over. That's the goal, Snapback Energy, all over. We are going to try and to get it out as samples and into the marketplace, regionally. So our footprint, based on where all of us are located, it goes coast to coast. So I think you'll see it just nationally and then hopefully internationally as well. So
nice. Now, especially in this area, we've got a really great connection with some of the big breweries in town. Dogfish, Salted Vines has been on the show too. So if you do check them out, kind of reach out. I'm sure they would love to have this on their shelves too.
Have you heard of float therapy? Holy cow, this is like the biggest secret in America, I think the world. Famous people, athletes, all these people are doing float therapy, and it's called Urban Float in Rehoboth. You can go to urbanfloat.com, click on Rehoboth, and check out these guys. You're basically sitting on 1,200 pounds of Epsom salt. Everything just feels so amazing, and you're on this weightless, de-stressing pod for an hour. I love it. You get a discount your first time. You can also let them know that you're from 302 Lifestyle. Check them out, guys. Sponsored by Urban Float.
Very cool. So what's been one of your biggest challenges in a startup?
Oh gosh, probably working through trademarking. Branding is so important, branding and marketing, and making sure that you're getting it right the first time. I think that's so important that it needs to resonate with your audience and it needs to be appealing. So I think the branding, the trademark applications, anybody who's worked through the trademark process knows, and I'm sure Ken feel me on this, it's not easy, but you've got to dot your I's and cross your T's. And then when you get to that end state, that's exciting. And then just development. I mean, it's the little things, it's the back end to get to that final point where you have product in hand of your audience. So, but it's just exciting. It's all worth it. It really is.
And so a lot of people, I think, they're coming to the area, but they have these, backgrounds or whatever their life has been. And sometimes I feel like people believe like, okay, well, this is it. I'm just going to live out my life and this is all I've done. But I have all these great ideas and things that I wish I would have done or was doing. So it sounds like you kind of picked up on that, like a thing. Well, you know what? I'm doing this here, but I can do something different here, So tell us a little bit about the transition from the world that you're used to, the corporate, fast-paced stuff, to I've got a great thing going on here. Is it easy to balance that shift? And what do you suggest people do to start stuff like that?
I think it's not, I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy. It depends on how passionate you are about it. right? So that's where the passion comes in. And if you're passionate about something, you're going to make it work, right? That motivates you, it gets you going. So I think it's channeling where your passions are, where they lay. And then I think it's also so incredibly important to really take the time and ensure you have the right team. Because one person, could potentially sink the ship if they're not on board for the right reasons or contributing, how you feel they should. So I think it's taking the time, pulling in the right team members and partners, and not being afraid. There's a great saying, you are the CEO of your life. So promote, fire, and adjust accordingly. So that's really what it is. It's never too late to pivot and decide I'm done with this. We need to make a change, and then make the change. It could take a few months, it could take a few years. And sometimes you might not be chasing the right dream, and it's okay to say, I'm going to let this go. This isn't right for me now. And that can happen in so many different dynamics, within your life. And then you shake it up a little bit.
And I'm assuming not giving up at the first couple signs of
grit. There's a great book. There's actually a great TED Talk about grit and being gritty. And I think it's a characteristic that we don't apply enough and tell each other, it's having grit. It does not mean you have, certain diplomas from certain schools. It does not mean you come from a certain background. It just means that you're willing to roll up your sleeves and put in the work, no matter what obstacles might get in your way. And I think it's a great, I teach my kids all the time that, you fell down, now get back up and let's try again. And it makes it all worth it.
Wow, Tessa, you are just dropping all kinds of knowledge nuggets here.
I'm on today.
So I love this. Yeah. And, some interesting, don't quote me on the exact number, but it's somewhere around like 66 times I think it takes to start a new habit.
Right.
So, that's like, 4 to 6 weeks of a lot of people that say, okay, I'm going to go back to the gym, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to start something new. And then, a couple weeks in, they miss a couple times, and all of a sudden they quit going. But if you have that passion, like, okay, here's my why, here's my what I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep going. I may fall down a few times, but I have to realize it's going to take, several months to kind of build that, habit of a new project.
There's so many things in your life. So I'll tell everybody out there, it's nothing worthwhile is going to be easy. It's just not. So.
Except being awesome, like you.
Yeah, right. I mean, you could catch me on a Monday, and then that might be questionable.
Okay, cool, Tessa. So, guys, this is just so awesome. So we got Snapback here. So you guys, hopefully by the time this is launched or midstream here this summer, we'll have all the information for you guys. Maybe have it back on after another 6 months to a year when everything's kind of launching. We're done. And so look for this in stores coming up. But more importantly, if you guys are trying to get a hold of Tessa for any reason of these things, you have all that down below. So Tessa, you ready for lightning round?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. What is your favorite book, tool, software, or video? You mentioned a couple of things, but what's one of your favorite things that's kind of helped you in your life?
Oh my goodness. I would say this is so bad. I would say my planner. I'm going to pick it up. This is and I put it on the notepad too. I do have my Microsoft notepad or my OneNote, which I say is underrated. So I am old school. I use pencils. I still use pencils to date, and I'm really working on transposing everything online. But I would say time management's key. If you take 10 minutes out of each day and you plan out your day, or you have some sort of time management, whether it looks like putting things in a planner or putting it on the phone, and just knock out the quick things early, it's just going to make for a better day. So hopefully
that sounds good stuff. And as you were talking, I was trying to show an image of it on here because I don't have it around me. I discovered this awesome planner that I'll have to share with you guys. I think the main title of it is like Law of Attraction Planner, but basically it's just helping people stop focusing on negative stuff and focus on the positives by a daily writing things out and setting little goals and keeping track of your time and stuff. But I am all about planners, and I started a thing where I would have all these notifications popping up, and I was online a lot. And I realized, just like what you said, like, I don't know if it's just because I'm old school or I grew up in, 90s or whatever, but I have to have things like in front of me physically. And yeah, so I even did one on here of like a vision board where, you have things that you can actually see and look at, because eventually those things come into your life.
Yeah, they're tangible then. And you can, it's funny, I won't, I'll throw out, everybody use manifest, but you kind of manifest them coming in. And if you set small goals and start knocking them out, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed, that sense of being overwhelmed is then going to turn into a sense of achievement. And then you're on a roll, and then you're off and going.
Yeah, love it. And, keeping those things going is what life's about. So
Absolutely.
love it. Okay. And what is your favorite place to go, maybe eat or maybe just visit in the 302 area that people can check out?
Oh goodness, there's so many. I love our harvest going down.
Yes.
Our harvest is one of my favorites. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so many different little places. I love going into Lewis. If you haven't spent time in Lewis, it's such a great area, and there's so much fun. Depending on what age group, there's so much to do up there. But I'd probably say our harvest is my favorite place to head up to the area and enjoy a nice dinner and sit and relax.
Yeah. Our harvest, guys. I've actually dropped that on here a couple times. So just,
I know.
You just gotta try it.
That's what you need to say. I don't even order. Sometimes I'll be in and just be like, bring it all.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, so good. Yes. Okay. And what is one question I should have asked you? And what's your answer?
Oh no, this is really hard. Oh goodness. I guess stress relief. What is the biggest thing that I use for stress relief? And I would say it's just getting outside. I think hitting do not disturb on your phone is people don't do it enough. Silence everything. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saving lives. If somebody can't reach me for an hour, I know the kids are taken care of, they're at school. There is nothing wrong just unplug for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, take some time for yourself, quiet down, take a walk. I would say those are just, good tips.
Love all this, Tessa. And just on that note about interruptions and notifications and feeling like this sense of emergency all the time. So Tim Ferriss had a really cool book, and it talked about, the 4-hour work week, where we started setting up automated email responders saying, hey guys, we only check our email between this time.
Love it.
We don't handle emergencies. So
right.
I had to tell our employees, like, look, because they would call like, oh my gosh, this person's freaking out. I have to get there. I'm like, wait a minute, it's your party. Like,
I'm going to save his life, which nobody wants me doing. Then we're okay, guys. We're all right.
Yes. So I love all this stuff. This has been such a great conversation. And guys, you need to check out Snapback when this is out. And for any other reason, we'll have some contact information and social media links for Tessa if you guys are trying to get a hold of her. Tessa, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. This is great.
And all right, guys, keep living that 302 lifestyle. We'll see you next time.
Wish you could spend more time having fun and less time with chores? Go to 302beachtalk.com to get $20 off a home cleaning. You'll be entered to win a completely free cleaning. Eat, play, serve. Sponsored by That Guy with a Broom.